I love some of these signs. It's funny, during Solidarity, and many people that don't know much about Solidarity in Poland will say that have told me that Poland had an easier time with the Soviet Union, and I've been saying for a long time that is not true. And Lech Walesa was just quoted in the Washington Post a couple days ago saying the same thing. It's very difficult here in Hong Kong, very difficult. But Poland actually had a much harder time, believe it or not. It was so dangerous. It's amazing how so many people now that don't realize how powerful the Soviet Union was and how it looked at that time. They'll look at it and go, no, the Soviet Union was weak and they couldn't do anything. And it's like, oh, you're completely wrong. What's that?
Step on it for a little bit.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I just got a call coming in from control, I think. Jack is saying too many broadcasts, poor connection, black screen. Epoch's got a black screen, poor connection.
Okay, you got your line. Okay.
He wants to cut and go live again.
He called and said we're going to try again to change positions. If it doesn't work,
let's go down by the water then, or closer to the water. Let me catch up to you, Eric. I stopped to take a photo. Okay. So we're going to restart out here.
If the connection doesn't get better,
okay. We might have to get another one with 6 SIM cards. That's going to be a lot of money, but I can't do it if it's not. There's nobody's going to put up with intermittent signal. It's not worth doing if it's not working. I see people got lasers up on the PLA headquarters. Can you put that camera on that? See the lasers on the PLA headquarters? I don't know if this is streaming out or not, but you can see that people have got that's the People's Liberation Army headquarters right there. Yeah, you can see the red star on the left. So it's funny, I've mentioned this before, many people will say, don't they know the Chinese army can just march right in? Yes, they know, believe it. Trust me, they know.
We stand outside making sure that when they do, we will know.
That's like telling Floridians, don't you know there's hurricanes? And they'll be like, yeah, we've heard of those. We've heard mention of that. Yeah, they know, trust me. And in fact, there's 17 bases that are on the map here in Hong Kong. Well, one of them's a range. I'm not sure if is that range that they have? The firing range, is that a base as well, Eric?
Yeah, they do.
So that's 17 that are on the map, and who knows how many spies. This is like the Berlin of Asia right here. This is super spy central, of course. So we're stepping out and trying to get a live signal. You know, we can walk. Okay, Michael Wu says it's okay. So let's go ahead and try to walk around the perimeter out straight ahead for about 30 meters and then take a left. And we can get a shot of the PLA headquarters from the front. Okay. So yeah, everybody's cognizant of what can happen. Remember, also Poland declared martial law back during the struggle in the 80s, and is very similar to this, super similar. People that haven't studied Solidarity in Poland during that era might not realize how similar these are. They're super similar. And for instance, the Kremlin putting pressure on Polish leaders, Jaruzelski and all the rest, to crack down harder, and like, why can't you stop Solidarity? Why can't you do this? Crack down harder. And the ZOMO, which was their armed police, would crack down and crack down harder, and it just made Solidarity stronger. Now, there was times when Solidarity members thought that they were losing ground and losing steam, and they were losing enthusiasm. They thought that they were worried that other Solidarity members had given up, but they didn't realize, similar here to Hong Kong, it's just like, every once in a while you go through these periods when enthusiasm appears to diminish because actions diminish for a period, and then they resume again. And in fact, Lech Walesa was in prison at one point. Recall, he was the leader of Solidarity. He's the one that sort of got the trade unions together. When he was in prison, somebody had smuggled him a radio, and he said even his spirits were low, and that's Lech Walesa. And he said he was listening to Radio Free Europe, which was run by CIA and QR Helpful. He said, he knew it was still on. And so, encouraging each other and helping. The United States helped primarily with propaganda. Of course, we were arming the Mujahideen over in Afghanistan. We were actually arming them in Pakistan. And they were, bringing the weapons over into Afghanistan. But we didn't arm Solidarity. And Lech Walesa, and there was an element of Solidarity that wanted to fight, but that wasn't a wise move. Lech Walesa realized that. CIA, President Reagan also realized it. So we never armed them because, of course, the Soviets could easily crush them. And as with Hong Kong, there were many in the police, many in the police and the. Eric gave the halt signal, so I automatically stopped talking. Many in the police and the Polish army were actually sympathetic to not Beijing, but to Moscow at the time, and so that obviously was a problem for Solidarity. But after Solidarity finally prevailed, the ZOMO, the armed police, they were disbanded, and you hear a lot of Hong Kongers that want this police force disbanded, and there was a price to pay for those Polish people that who abused their own citizens and did the bidding. They were traitors. They did the bidding of the Soviet Union and the communists, and they paid a price for it later. And likewise, when the Hong Kongers finally prevail here, there's going to be a price for the police who... and so this is a serious struggle here in Hong Kong, because the police realize that losing carries a lot of penalty. But that was the same penalty that the ZOMO and others had in Poland, and they still lost. Still lost. It's a really an existential struggle. You either give up here and be a slave to communists, or you fight. Those are your choices. Or some people flee. But even, I was told today by a friend.
It's NTD. Friends over in NTD.
Oh, I'm going to go say, that's Sarah. We're actually live streaming on their page right now. That's NTD. Hello. Oh, hello. Matthew's here. He doesn't want to be on not his face, but you can talk.
It took me quite some effort to chase you guys.
How's the live stream? I can't even see our live streaming because it doesn't open.
I saw it.
You can see it?
Yeah.
But there's a NTD right there, which is Epoch Times. And this is also streaming on their page. I was mentioning earlier, Epoch Times is neck deep in the fight against China. And, they're run by Falun Gong, and Falun Gong have been used as organ donors. Not organ donors. They've been organ harvested, murdered, and just terribly. If you've ever met Falun Gong people, they're just really peaceful, meditate. They're like no threat. They'll be good neighbors. And they recently, about less than 2 weeks ago, one of their facilities was firebombed here in Hong Kong. And the people that did the firebombing tried to make it look like these patriots here, the liberators, did it, but everybody can see right through it. Look how welcome there, because there's Epoch Times right there. Hey, Sarah. There's, yeah. Oh, you're live. No, you are live. Yeah, now you're live. Oh, yes, of course. All right, you can keep me off and I'll interview. Okay. He's actually doing live on your page right now.
Okay.
So that's live on your page. You were live. Let me take these glasses off. Happy Thanksgiving. Sorry. Okay.
Are you okay?
Well, today.
Handsome.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Mike. Today, thanks. Hong Kong. What's your feeling about that?
I'm very happy. I woke up this morning. I was walking out of my house. I got a message from Florida that President Trump had just signed the door back in and all day. He signed the Human Rights and Democracy Act.
Signed immediately.
I was super happy. I mean, that was another vote of confidence that he believes work as well. I mean,
Sign it.
well, you can see that the Americans are behind it, and the House and the Senate were behind it. I think when it came to actually putting his name on the bottom line.
Yeah. And then, Michael, you have stayed in Hong Kong for over 5 months, right?
Since visa, and now I'm got a long visa again.
Yeah. How do you think of Hong Kong's future now?
Much brighter now. Got the House, the Senate, and the President to sign off, and more Americans are seeing what's happening, which is vital. This really reminds me of Poland in the 80s.
Can you share the memory about Hong Kong's this protest? Which one you think is most unforgettable? Today, and the elections on Sunday were a huge landslide in favor of democracy and freedom. Huge landslide, unambiguous in any stretch. So it's just one good news after another. Now we've had a lot of wounded here as well among the liberators. We've more than 4,000 arrested. Some were unclear about if they were transported possibly to China. This is unknown. So it's not been without cost. But it's not over yet as well. There's many people charged with crimes, but victory means those can be wiped off the records as well, right? So victory is paramount. Yeah, and one of your movies, which is Yoma Day, happening in November 18th.
Right.
Yes, spread widely. Yes. Why do you have this bravery to cover this news?
What do I? I'm sorry.
Why do you have the bravery to cover?
Oh, the bravery. Is they're the ones on the front line getting arrested. The police have hit me a few times, but not like they hit them. They're going to prison. I'm still walking around. So the courage is. Was that 13 days? Incredible. And, facing 10 years or more in prison, it's very serious. Giving up their educations, gambling with their futures to fight communist China. It's unbelievable. This is really the mouse against the raging bear, and they're winning. The mouse is winning.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for photo.
Oh, yes. I would love that, actually. I should... Oh. I wanted to get a photo with us. I'm very happy I got a haircut today.
You see, I have the photo with the.
Oh,
I just interviewed.
you're live, by the way. I got a microphone that's a hot mic right here. Oh, wow. Yeah. And when was this? Earlier today?
Today, in the morning.
Oh, that's why you couldn't, because you had the interview this morning, you couldn't go to Poly U.
Yeah.
You said you couldn't go to Poly U.
Yeah, I see it to you.
All right, if you need something, shoot me a message. What are you doing wearing that hat?
Yeah, I bought it from Vietnam.
That's like a Target. Oh, it's Vietnam. Okay, never mind. Hi, pleasure to meet you. You too.
It's American correspondent.
I'm gonna go find it.
For the performance tonight, and thank you all three speeches.
聽完三位嘅發言，相信大家都會體會到呢條法案嘅通過背後絕對唔簡單。但相信大家都會問，究竟呢條法案通過咗之後，對香港實際上會有乜嘢嘅影響呢？
After hearing from Congress deal, I believe we will all understand that the passing of this bill hasn't been an easy task. Many of us might also wonder what are the impacts of this bill will bring to Hong Kong.
今日我哋請嚟三位專業團體嘅嘉賓同大家分析下，佢哋分別係高教公民嘅陳永正先生。
Action about, oh, I don't know, a month or so ago now. So many drones out today, Eric. Look at all these drones. This is like Afghanistan. Only these drones don't have Hellfire missiles on them.
Do you want some?
Well,
Just in case.
let's get into a better position so people can have a better
Want
view.
to get a better view?
Yeah. Thanks, Matt. Matthew's here with me. Actually, we can let Matthew, let me give talk. I just ramble.
People want to hear
Oh, is
of being tortured by CCP, waterboarding.
I always talk about here, go ahead, man. Here's the microphone.
Hello, everyone. So, alive. Thanks for your and happy Thanksgiving. A bit
有咩制裁啊？凍結佢哋資產，唔俾佢哋入美國境內。
Right.
即係話俾佢哋聽，如果你踐踏香港人嘅人權，你準備被排斥，你準備做過街老鼠。以後唔好入美國，以後返大灣區享繁榮。 第二樣就係每年嘅檢視，每年美國政府會檢視香港嘅自治情況，包括人權，包括普選嘅進度。如果自治係不足夠嘅，美國可以取消香港嘅獨立。
Connection's tight.
Now it's good.
Yeah, I got it in here. I'll just hold it in my hand and I can see if it turns red. So
a little bit of a technical issue.
yeah, if that turns red, we will have lost signal.
That's why you guys need to chip in through Patreon or PayPal.
Yeah, exactly.
No. That's for buying, upgrading the equipment further.
It's amazing how much it costs.
Yeah, I can help.
Hamburgers or equipment? Buy me hamburgers.
Actually, I've been thinking every day I should stop and write my cannibal books, make a lot of money, and then I can come back and do things like this that are more
But
important.
you don't have time.
Well, these don't. This doesn't make money and it doesn't pay for itself. But the cannibal books I think will, but they're just not important. But it's the most amazing story ever.
Good luck.
Yeah.
With the book, I mean.
But this is an incredible historical moment, and
Well, did you share with all the audiences that we just
I think what we should and get a copy again.
Occasionally.
Oh. It may be just, we need to check and see what's going on across the water. And what we'll do is when we go, we'll just keep it live the entire time. And give people a look at the harbor. My signal's so bad I can't even see that we're live streaming.
Yeah, the Facebook network does tend to do that.
Can you zoom into that black flag?
Zoomed into it earlier.
Oh, okay, if you've already done it, never mind. Yeah, the one that's so United States stands with. Yeah.
First thing is Seattle, then Boston, then New York.
And can you pan all the way to the right? I don't know if you've seen how big the crowd is.
And to the right.
Eric, did you bring your helmet?
Did I?
Yeah.
I'm not expecting much action tonight, but maybe some lion birds.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I'm good at.
Yeah.
Well, the network is very bad as there are too many people around. So let me check.
Streaming, I'm more important.
Like, see that drone up there with no light on it? They put the laser on it. But they didn't put the light up, the lasers on the other. Remember when they used to have hundreds of lasers out here at the protests and the actions, but now almost no lasers. Very few. Like there's a laser on one drone up above Eric's head. When I say laser on the drone, it's not the drones shooting the laser down. It's people beaming their laser photons up at the drone. It's funny when the command helicopter has flown over some of the larger protests and actions, and just hundreds of lasers were up on shining on the helicopters. And some people instinctively defended the helicopter, like, that were on my Facebook, people back in America and Europe and whatnot were saying that, that's very dangerous and terroristic that they're shining the lasers on the helicopter. And I was like, that's the opposite. The helicopter's communist helicopter, and if they don't want lasers on them, fly away. It's too easy. Very simple. Fly away. They're using the helicopter for command and control. And they were using it to look down, and people were blinding them. And it's easy.
Still red now.
Oh, screen again. Keeps dropping signal even though I'm right next to Eric. It could be because there's so many people out here transmitting. But we're so close, we should have a tight signal. This is a hot mic, by the way, so when you talk, it's picking up your voice, just so you know. So it's going right to that camera live. This is live streaming to numerous pages. It's going to my Facebook, my YouTube. It's also going to Epoch Times. Yeah, and it's going to Random Yoko up in Japan. It's going to a friend, Brian Kolfage, back in the United States. He's got hugely busy pages. So
That's
it's
great.
going through a lot. Probably could be reaching a couple million people right now.
Amazing.
So don't say anything bad. You got an American accent, it seems like.
Canadian.
Oh, Canadian. I won't hold that against you.
We're friends.
Vancouver?
Toronto.
Toronto? How you like Toronto?
I'm back here, yeah?
Did you come back to live here or vote
Yeah, I
here?
did move back to live here. Over a decade.
I like Canada, but I actually, yeah. Oh, I was going to mention earlier, again, this is a hot mic.
Yeah.
I was going to mention earlier that a lot of people flew in from like Canada and Singapore on a flew in to vote on Sunday, even though it was district level.
20,000, but don't know how many.
All right, we'll
But
move.
it's still peaceful for now.
We'll move